In the meantime, this is really something. We've been telling you over the last couple of days about this terrorist group called Boko Haram out in Africa, how they've killed an entire village. They have, since in the last couple of weeks, they have kidnapped 300 young girls. They're going to sell them into into slavery. Yes. They burned a bunch of boys. They burned down a village. It's all bad. And now, word is, because we did not place them on the terror list of officially known terrorist groups, it's going to be harder to go after them. And who exactly made sure that they were not placed on the terror list? Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, come on, she has enough going on. This can't be added to the list. Question being as well, can she cover this on Twitter? So she's been tweeting this week, and she started on May 4th with the hashtag #BringOurGirlsBack, and this was...
Which, by the way, Elizabeth, that brought a lot of attention to this, and everyone was lauding her and saying, wow, isn't that great? Now the world was saying, what is she hashtag?
Yes, and the rights of women and young girls, those were pillars of what she wanted to accomplish in her time at the State Department. But right here, what she didn't actually tweet, and perhaps because it was over 140 characters, was the fact that her own State Department, as Steve just mentioned, did not place Boko Haram on the list of foreign terrorist organizations, which would have forbidden any sort of authority to increase securities to them, increase assistance to Nigerian security forces in that area, and perhaps could have saved these girls earlier.
Here's the statement. It says there was a concern, and the reason why the State Department did not do it, there was a concern that putting Boko Haram on the foreign terrorist list would be, in fact, raise its profile, give it greater publicity, give it greater credibility, help in its recruitment, and also probably drive more assistance in its direction. There's all types of theories out there about how to deal with Islamic extremists, which this group is, and they are listed as an Al-Qaeda affiliate. So I don't really think giving them additional publicity and credibility might be the #1 priority on the surface, especially when the FBI called me, the CIA's on my voicemail, the DNI is on my voicemail. All these people are doing it. So if you go ahead and do it and you're running the State Department, I feel pretty good that I have some good backing in Washington.
She did not take that advice. She did not take the recommendation there to put him on the list.
Well, she didn't. And that guy, Mr. Carson's explanation on how it would raise their profile and, you know, not only with all of us, but the bad guys as well, that's just kind of crazy. And it's just very audacious for Hillary Clinton. Now, keep in mind, and they're some of the people from that Boko Haram organization, for Hillary Clinton now to, you know, over the last couple of days to talk about how bad they are, given the fact that she could have done something a couple of years ago and did not, and the fact that her big initiative last week was to help women and girls. There's a little hypocrisy going on.
Sure, and what is the theory of if you continue to say it does not exist or that's not its name, then it just won't be there? Well, this, once again, proves that is not the case.
But here's the good news. We're sending people over there now. It's going to be a lot harder. So is the world. Even China's responded. So maybe we're going to go ahead and squeeze these guys to death.
How can we do it? We're sending 20 people over.
Right.
And it sounds like without guns.
For the families of girls, I hope that we can. If anyone can, we can. But this is, again, something that was a spark early, become full flame now.
Sure. All right. But look, she's got a lot on her plate. Yesterday, she was here in New York City, and she was sat down with Robin Roberts of ABC News, and she was at the Ford Foundation, and she was asked about that pesky Benghazi thing. You know, those darn Republicans, they keep bringing it up. Here's what she had to say about answering all the questions regarding Benghazi. Listen.
Of course, there are a lot of reasons why, despite all of the hearings, all of the information that's been provided, some choose not to be satisfied and choose to continue to move forward. That's their choice, and I do not believe there is any reason for it to continue in this way, but they get to call the shots in the Congress.
Darn Republicans.
So as Lindsey Graham says, if she doesn't want to come and answer the questions because she's probably going to be subpoenaed, then she shouldn't run for president.
Right.
Because there's going to be a lot of people going to be asking the same questions in small towns in New Hampshire and big towns in Florida.
Right, because when asked why she wasn't the one who went on the 5 programs, as Susan Rice did, and provide the explanation for the deaths of and vicious murders of 4 Americans there in Benghazi, she didn't want to be there. Susan Rice was sent with talking points with a false narrative, and so that's where you get that quote of saying, look, if she can't handle that, if she can't handle looking at the American people and telling them the truth in the eye, how dare she even consider herself qualified?
Sure. Trey Gowdy, by the way, yesterday, he's going to head up the Benghazi Select Committee. He said he is going to call her. He has been receiving death threats as well. He said, as long as they're not from my wife, I can handle them as a former prosecutor. We want to know, regarding Benghazi, when will you be satisfied? What is it you want to get out of it? Is it just for it to be over? Is it to finally know about the security lapses or the connection with the White House and it looks like a conspiracy and cover-up? Email us, Facebook us, tweet us.
Or just do you want these guys killed or captured? That might help too.
Or just the truth for the families
later.
who lost their loved ones that day. At least for them, the truth shouldn't be so hard to get.